Today, we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Legacy United, actually it's Evolution, Beachcomber, who is a figure that released last year, I think, and is not particularly all that great, in my opinion. The design of him, yes, he is Beachcomber. He looks exactly like Beachcomber, in fact. I mean, there's nothing wrong with his look, it's just Beachcomber might have a very bland design. His arms are just bare. There's nothing. There's no paint on them. The only bit of color is the tire on the shoulder, which, yeah, a little bit absurd. I know the left arm has the little gun on it, but the gun is a gun. He shouldn't come with a gun. It's Beachcomber, who is a known pacifist. He came with a gun, so I just put it on his arm. I tried putting it on his back, but the back ports actually don't function that well. The legs are not much better than the arms, but at least he has gray hips, and then after the knee, they turn blue, and they put a bit of silver. Could have been some silver here, though, or something. If you look at the bottom of his feet, he actually has details for the alternate form, that being a steering wheel and kind of like a console, but it's a little weird. The chest probably has the best design out of the whole thing. It's the most painted. Got some gunmetal, some yellow, blue, and red. It's pretty good, honestly. The chest looks great, but everything else is just so bland. There's just no paint on them. The only other painted area is that little bit on the legs, which, again, that's kind of bad that everything's just color is dedicated to plastic everywhere. The tires are the arm coloration, and that's it. His head sculpt looks pretty good. Looks exactly as it should. He comes with one other accessory other than the gun he shouldn't come with, which is this little bird known as Paradise Parakeet. And he's really cool. He's pretty well painted, except he's a little messed up because I threw him in a bin. So he's a little bit dinged up, which sucks because he's painted green. And that's really it, honestly. That's the robot. His articulation is about as mid as it gets. He has a head rotation. He has arms typical movement, a waist and the leg typical movement, and then, of course, he has ankle tilt. Why wouldn't he have ankle tilt? Everybody has ankle tilt. But as far as it goes with him, there's not much really to do, if I'm being honest. Not much to say. He's just so bland. He's bland. And his transformation is not helping his case. To start off said transformation, it's actually pretty basic and easy. Fold out the heels, like so, and then fold up these little gray beams. From there, peg the legs together along with said little gray pipes here. Open up the back of the legs, come to the back and fold up this little bit there. Pull up on his torso. Close the doors on the bottom of his legs. Or on the back of his legs, I should say. And then peg the arms in to sides. There's two slots, peg it into the low one. And I know it's off camera, but let's do that. And then from there, just peg these together. The seats do peg into place. And then take his gun, which is parts forming, and make the front bumper. And you have his alt form, which, again, is accurate, but it lacks paint. Again, no detailing at all. None. It's actually baffling that they have nothing going on here. They could have painted the grates on the arms here. They didn't. They could have added some silver. They had silver paint in here. They used it on his face, and they used it there. And they used it on the seats, I think, too. There's nothing. They used it on the wheels, which are rubber, which is nice that they're rubber tires. But I think I would have preferred them to put it into the coloring or engineering at this point, because the back of the thing just looks so haphazard. There's nothing here. If you turn it over, yeah, he's just laying down. He's literally laying down and pulled his chest up over his head. That is it. They didn't paint the lights. There's no rear lights to paint. Actually, there is rear lights to paint. They just didn't do it. There's blast effect ports there, which the bird can sit on if you'd like. He just goes there. Or you can peg him into one of the quintillion. I was going to say quintillion for some reason. Quintillion ports. There we go. He goes on there. And I mean, the alt form just, it's not great, if I'm being honest. There's nothing good to talk about with it. It's just so mediocre, and I dropped it. But it's just so mediocre. There's nothing here. There's just nothing of substance. There's no paint, which there should be more, I do believe. It's just too much blue. The only paint there is that you could see is there and on the seats. That's it. They didn't even, like, bother to paint the console. I know it's on the bottom of his feet, but still. They couldn't even paint the lights. Really? But that's it. That's him. Let's get to my final thoughts, which aren't gonna be too great, honestly. He's just nothing. There's nothing of substance to this figure, in my opinion. He's just there. The thing that really irks me is, as a kid, I owned the Legion class toy from Classics, I believe it was, in like 2010. I own that thing. I still have that thing somewhere. And it transforms the exact same way. Exact same steps. Arms fold in to form the sides. Legs fold up to form the front. There's a little pull-up thing at the chest. It's all the same steps. It's actually almost baffling that they didn't change it. And I think the Titans Return one is also the same thing. How did that happen? How in all of these years have they just said, you know, let's not rework him at all? They needed more paint on this figure. A lot more paint. And they just didn't do it. There's just no color differential anywhere other than the plastics. It's just like they cheaped out on him. They knew everyone would buy him because he's Beachcomber and he's one of the G1 cast members. That's the thing. That's the problem. And I've just heard people say that the Titans Return one's better. I don't own that one, unfortunately. The only reason I think most people would want this one is because it's in the new size that the other ones are. The other one would be too small, in my opinion. It's just, it's a Legends class versus a Deluxe, which I know he's not a full-fledged Deluxe, but he's still bigger. He's still a large toy compared. He's still a lot larger than the original. So it's just kind of one of them things that they could have done a lot better with this guy, and they just didn't. And I've heard that his remold in the 2-pack set is actually not bad. I don't know the name of that thing, and I kind of want it, but I heard that that one's actually pretty solid, but this one here is just not that great. They didn't put enough love into him, and the colors are just, he's too blue. There's not enough paint. The engineering's not there. He's just not worth it, and especially with the prices he went for, because his wave was Wave 3, and it was a weird wave. It was kind of rare for a little bit. But, yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say about Beachcomber. As far as a rating goes, he's getting a 2 out of 5. He's just not great, man. He's just not good. And that's all I have to say about Beachcomber. This has been Ilt Elite, signing out.